Alrighty, folks, we are back at it again here. I think today's plan is I'd like to try to get the motor sitting where it's supposed to sit. Maybe we'll mount it. I don't know yet. Yeah, we'll be able to do some of it, I think. Motor and trans, and I want to finish the back of this chassis. I want it to come down. I don't know if I'm running a bumper on this yet, but I am going to pull this thing all the way down and kind of build the back half of the chassis the way I want. Which probably means we're ditching whatever's last bit of this floor in here. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll start with some bracing in the middle and stuff like that. We have that Suburban, which you haven't seen nothing of that yet. I'm kind of waiting on the boy to do his thing there, but we have this 4L60 and whatever transfer case, which is kind of, the transmission's garbage, but the bell housing on bolts, so I need that one to go with my AR5 here. So I do kind of want to take that off and see if I can build an adapter, like copy this adapter in the future if I find more of these and I want to do some more. But anyways, I want to bolt that to that. I'm going to grab just a loose intake just to throw on there to make sure our clearances and stuff are going to be good. We'll be able to pull these motor mounts off because I'm not going to use them at all. I'm imagining the motor mounts are going to be like way back here. Yeah, I think we kind of got a plan. From there, we'll be able to do suspension and stuff, but I don't know if we'll get anywhere there in this round. But we do have stuff we can do, so I guess we'll get started. I'm going to start lifting this up and cutting the floor out so I can kind of start doing some measurements and getting things figured out in the back half of this car. well, you've probably seen that I changed my design a bit here. Mostly due to the fact, you know, as little as this is, I noticed when I was under there, if I had done this, I would have lost this much trunk space. I know it seems like a bunch of work for a little bit of space, but usually when we road trip, we can't take much stuff with us by the time I put some tools and junk in the back. So I want to make sure we got as much room as possible. Like I said, from where the car's sitting, I'm hoping I can build a fuel tank that'll sit low, and then I can actually have my tank and compressors behind. And then whatever, I'll find somewhere for my battery and stuff. But ideally, it'd be nice to have this hump containing a lot of my stuff, which then leads me here and into the back seat, like behind the seat area, stuff like that, with lots of room. So we got everything burned. I don't have anything underneath burned yet. The plan now is I'm going to, well, when we take it off, we're going to put a whole bunch of gussets on everything. Like everything's just going to get like a star gusset. Just to, whatever, give it some extra strength. More strength is better. And we haven't burned anything underneath, but we'll probably like clean up the rails and then paint it. But for now, what I think I'm doing is I'm going to pull these 2x2s off or ram them back. I'm going to put my motor and tranny together, and we'll kind of lump it in there and kind of see what we got to cut on the firewall, which I'm sure we're going to have to cut a bunch of junk. And yeah, because this is the lowest the car could possibly be. So now this is the first time I can put a motor in without having to cut an oil pan for a change. So we'll probably set the motor up high, give it, you know, the same inch or two of ground clearance that we can do if we can. And yeah, then we'll start figuring out our transmission cross member and yeah, our framing to do the two-link for the back. So with this setup, like I say, I still like to put the bags up on the arms up there. There's pretty much would be room to mount them up top here, but I don't know. I feel they'll ride better down there, but you know how things go. Things will change as I go. Anyways, yeah, we got to do that. We'll have to figure out our panhard in the back here. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff to do, but anyways, first thing, let's get the motor in there and see what that looks like. overall, that fits really well. There's a whole lot of hackery over here because I do want to run the factory air conditioning pump. So yeah, that's a little tricky yet. I'm working on that. I feel the motor still, like, I don't mind the height. I like the height. That's fine. It gives me 2 inches off the ground when it's aired completely out, which I'd rather have a little more room. But with that said, the transmission is like crazy high. Look at this. That's crazy considering the bottom of this board is where my floor is going to be. So that puts like a huge hump, like crazy high. So I'm kind of struggling with that right now. I feel just bringing it down an inch would be a huge help. But whatever. It is what it is, I guess. I have the motor set back. I just want tons and tons of room for transmission. I had to move it over a bit, so it's about 3/4 of an inch or so, almost an inch over to the one side, but that's not a big deal. Only me and you would know that, so. Anyways, with the rack in here, that should go okay because I don't have the power steering, so that's a win. That gets rid of this. So when the rack goes in, that should work out okay. My buddy's actually finished the ends, so have to go get that. But I believe when this is in here, we can kind of scab it this way. I just don't know about my exhaust system yet, how the exhaust and steering portion will work. I'm thinking of getting some headers, but the stock manifolds would work fine on here as well. And here we can still do a belt, but it is super tight. I can add like tons of meat back into here. I guess I excessively cut this up, but there is not a lot. And if a feller had to replace this, man, there'd be a lot of suck. But it's doable. I don't know about removing it, how easy that would be, but it's doable. Somehow. Actually, if you take the motor mount off, it goes that way, but once there's a mount in there, no bueno, it isn't going to go that way. So it would be involving taking a motor mount, tilting the thing, doing a lot of really sucky work, but we can do it. It's doable. So I'm on the fence of dropping it an inch. It's just an inch, so I don't know if that's going to matter much. What I might do now, though, is make sure it's all squared up. I might make some quick mounts that we can, then the motor suspended good. And the transmission, I won't have anything yet. We can maybe jimmy rig something across there for it. And then we can start working on, like, lift the body back off and start trying to figure out, like, a cross member, K member thing. Because right around here, where the slip yoke would be, is where I want my 2-link to come into, kind of parallel off of that. It's my idea. Should stay all under the floors then. Should be nice. I'm hoping. All right. Well, I guess what we can do... Oh, got ideas. I can probably rehold my diff now and jimmy rig and square it all up by getting some junky U-bolts, putting them on there, zapping it, and then at least I can spin the diff. That's a good idea. Yeah, whatever. All right. Dang, no, that's a big hole, though. It's going to be a big hump. I don't know if I'm going to put a bench seat in there. Well, there's still a lot of room. That'll just be, man, that'll be one big, whoa, I don't know if I can do a bench seat. Look how high that output is. Look at that. I think I'm going to be stuck with buckets in this baby. Bummer. Well, whatever. That's all right. Okie dokie. Well, let's start building some motor mounts. Well, those worked out pretty good. I went a little aggressive on my cut here. I could fill it with well, no, that's a lot of fill, but we'll fix it up when we pull the motor out. I'll have to finesse that other side yet a little bit. But those are the stock truck mounts, so I just trimmed them, stuck them in there. So we're using the stock truck mount, upper, lower. Yeah, pretty happy with that. This one looks super aggressive, but I was farting with this thing and it broke. So we'll, I'm sure for the idler, we still have to have some goofiness in here for that. So I'll have to figure that out. We won't need so aggressive into here. We can kind of go in, burn this up into there. Yeah, it'll be fine. It's super, super tight. We got room. Not a lot, but there's room there. We won't be able to take the control arm off. Sure hope I don't have to do tons of adjustment out. That'll become a problem. Yeah, it'll be fine. That's like a second problem, I guess. If we have to shim that like crazy, I don't know. We got some room. We'll figure it out. Hopefully, that won't be a problem. Here we still got to make a face. I just cut this off. I'm going to make like just a triangle and a little filler into there. That's good. We do have our angle right on the motor, which then brings everything down a little bit. So that's super nice on the inside. We tilted her down. It was sitting square before. Now it's actually got a little bit of dangle. It's still crazy how big of a hump we're going to put in here, but that and 3 pedals. Good times. Look at all this room. We'll probably have to hug that bell housing like super, super tight, but anyways, our transmission mount is actually supposed to be over here somewhere, so I guess I can lift the body off and we can start looking at what we're doing inside of here, because the motor is pretty much where I want. So alrighty. Well, I definitely have a lot of head scratching going on here. Mostly because we're kind of running trailing arms. Keep saying that. That's going to go there. That's going to kick out. Somewhere in this vicinity is where I want them to meet, because I want the arms to be as long as I can, and I want them to pivot where my drive shaft goes, just so the pinion angle won't do anything weird. Well, it will, but it won't be excessive kind of thing. And I want to try to keep it to the center, so it'll have some articulation, because that's usually what you don't have with a 2-link. This back bit that I made, there's like plenty of room for a panhard and stuff, so I'm cool with all that. My dilemma is just trying to see, because I have a habit of breaking stuff, so if I break the transmission or the clutch or do something, I want to make sure I can get it out without too much hassle. And so I'm trying to make sure, if I do the mount, I need a removable cross member, but I need my suspension still to work. Like, I need this to come back enough that I could at least go back and drop the transmission out. Yeah, basically just trying to think all the things through. So I have that. I'm thinking of doing like a step across, but then we have a problem where what's my exhaust going to do? I don't know where to run that. Because it's got to go here, but then there's all this steel going to be in the way, and then over here there's going to be these 2 links in the way, and it's just a good time. Like, I don't know if there's enough room to run it on the outside of the frame. That'd be neat. But then back here I got the dilemma where my bags are going to be and stuff. So I'm making things really complicated for myself. Like, excessively complicated. Oh well. We'll figure it out. I just got to sit and scratch my head for a long time here. One step at a time. I guess exhaust, we'll just deal with it. We can make it work. It's just, it's everything else. It's trying to make everything else work. That's where we're struggling right now. Anyways, I'm going to scratch my head for a while, and once I got a game plan, I'm just going to start giving her. All right. So we have cut up my cross member. That's in place. That's good. I've cut down my 2-link, or my raw arms. I still have to make up some bushing, so I got to get some steel to do that. My bag mounts look like they're going to work perfect back here. So we'll be able to like make a bracket for these babies back here. It'll do their thing. What else? So what I want to do yet is build like a K member. I guess we're going to call it a K member. I'm going to build a mount from here to come back, triangulate back, just to give some extra strength for these. And we'll still be able to get the tranny in and out fine. On top of doing this, I'll come back, I'll build a removable mount that goes in between that'll hold the transmission. But we'll have to do that when my transmission mount comes in. So for now, this should be fine. I'm doing this all out of 2x3. That gives me 2 inches of room under it, so if I have to, I can do a very slight notch, or we can just pancake the pipe, one or the other. But should do that. I've raised up the back of my links back here, because you got to think things through, is we got to lift it up. I don't want to go any higher, but I got to lift it up so that my scrub line wouldn't smoke the ground, so that part's okay. Well, what the scrub line is you don't want anything below your wheel. I mean, if it's aired out, it is, but at ride height, we don't want anything to be able to drag on the ground if you got a flat tire. Yeah, I think we got a plan. So now, I got to figure out the angles here, and we're going to cut. I want to try to keep it fairly close to where my 2-link mounts are. That way there's just, I don't know, in my head, it's way stronger than it needs to be. So we'll come there, kick it back to here, and over here, like in the end, we'll end up having like a bar across that'll hold my bag mounts. It'll like attach the frame together. We'll get some stuff over top of here, so when we do our floor pans, it can, whatever, it's got places to sit. The only dilemma with my setup now is, you can see here, it's not too bad. I think this is roughly where my seats will mount, so I'm okay. But the further back we get, it starts to get taller, which that's not a big deal with the floor. And it should be just kind of working into the back and going into my trunk space. So I am not too worried with that. I do like that there's heights, and now I got room for my exhaust to go under, and well, it'll probably go under. I don't know if it'll go on top, like up and over the diff. There's no need for that. Long as I can get my wheels off. That's always the important thing. If I got to, I will come here, hoof it over and down. There's nothing with bags here, so that's fine. We can kind of go down. We can come out and run our exhaust wherever, because I do want the fuel tank and stuff here, so I don't want to have that interfering with stuff. So, all right. So anyways, let's build those couple. Let's build those. I'll call it my K member. Well, it's going to look like a K, or depends what side of the vehicle you're on. Forward, backward K. All right, let's cut some steel. All right. Well, there we go. We got my K member in there, so that looks good. Once my motor mount comes in, then I'll be able to build a plate into here. Like I say, I still got to get some steel for this and the back. Like, I guess that'll be the next round. I kind of want to get the trailing arms done with the air ride in the back, and hopefully my motor mount is in, but I don't know. Probably not. I'd like to get that in, then I can pull it out and we'll fully weld all this stuff up. That is my plan. But I guess my my welding's cut short. The boy wants to fix his trailer, so I think that's where I'm gonna call it for today. Call her done deal. I want to thank you folks for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.